friends, today we're going to be making 2 sweet treats inspired by Lucky Charms cereal. First up, we're going to be making a homemade Lucky Charms ice cream. The milk and whipping cream mixture is infused with Lucky Charms cereal, and I think it's going to be the perfect sweet treat for St. Patrick's Day. And since I have some Lucky Charms left over, we're going to be making a really simple Lucky Charms bar. Imagine Rice Krispie treats, but made with Lucky Charms cereal instead. I think it's going to be a really fun treat. My son loves Lucky Charms, so I think he's really going to enjoy both of these sweet treats. So let's get started on our ice cream. Just before Christmas, I got the Unofficial Disney Parks Holidays Cookbook. These have recipes that are inspired by different holiday and seasonal treats you can find around Disney World, Disneyland, and at Disney resorts. I thought it'd be really fun to make a recipe for St. Patrick's Day since that is the next holiday coming up. But this book, I really love it. It is available on Amazon, so I can have it linked down below. But it has pictures. The recipes are not divided by a holiday, which I kind of wish that they were, but instead they're divided by park. So we have the chapter with Disneyland, and then the holidays for the recipes at Disneyland, and then Magic Kingdom and Epcot. Then we have Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, Disney's California Adventure, and then Disney Springs and Downtown Disney, and then Disney Resort Hotels. We are going to be making a recipe from the Disney Springs and Downtown Disney District. We are going to be making pots of gold and rainbows. This is a recipe from Salt and Straw at Disney Springs and Downtown Disney for St. Patrick's Day. I love Salt and Straw. I think that they have incredible ice cream. They're originally out of Portland, Oregon. And this recipe uses Lucky Charms, and my son is obsessed with Lucky Charms, and I thought he would absolutely love this ice cream. And it's going to take at least a day and a half to make this ice cream, because one of the first steps is to refrigerate Lucky Charms in milk and heavy whipping cream overnight. So we're going to do that tonight, and then tomorrow we will make the rest of the ice cream. But you will see that all in one video, and I'm excited. So these are all the ingredients that you need. So I'm going to go ahead and just get out the whole milk, heavy whipping cream, and Lucky Charms so we can make our Lucky Charms cereal milk mixture. So I have our ingredients: Lucky Charms, whole milk, and the heavy whipping cream, and I need to grab a large measuring cup. We need 1.5 cups of whole milk. Next, we're going to add in our heavy whipping cream to our measuring cup with our milk. Now we're going to add in 1 cup of Lucky Charms cereal. Just kind of give this a stir to push down all of that cereal. You want to make sure everything is covered with the milk and heavy whipping cream. It's the next day, and our cereal has been soaking overnight in our milk and heavy whipping cream mixture. And so I'm just going to go ahead and strain this just so we'll have like the cereal milk. The milk is infused with the Lucky Charms, and I think it's going to add so much flavor to the ice cream. I'm so excited. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I drained the Lucky Charm milk mixture, and so now we just have 1 3/4 cups liquid that is going to be the base of our ice cream. Next, I'm going to microwave 1 tablespoon of cream cheese for 30 seconds. Next, we're going to add in our sugar, 1/3 cup of sugar to our cream cheese. And then we also need a teaspoon of vanilla. Stir that together until you get a frosting-like consistency. I put the bowl of my ice cream maker in the freezer last night.
I absolutely love this ice cream maker. I've had it for years. I will link it down below. I think it works great, and I have always had great success making homemade ice cream with this machine. And we're just going to let this churn for about 15 to 20 minutes. It's been about 15 minutes, and our ice cream looks great. It smells really good too. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my ice cream paddle out. Next, we're going to add in some Lucky Charm marshmallows. I have these Lucky Charm marshmallows that I picked up, so I'm going to go ahead and use these. And I wish that I would have just taken the marshmallows out of the cereal. These are a little too big. The ice cream still tasted great, but I think next time I make this, I would just pick out the smaller marshmallows from the cereal. The ice cream needs to set a little bit before we serve it. So I'm going to go ahead and just transfer the ice cream mixture to a loaf pan. And then I will freeze the ice cream probably for 3 to 4 hours, just until it is nice and firm and set. I love freezing ice cream from my ice cream maker and like just a regular bread loaf pan. I think it works great, and I've done this for years. I like to place a sheet of parchment paper on top of the ice cream before placing it in the freezer. I just cut a sheet of parchment paper to fit the loaf pan, and then I kind of just press it down with my fingers just so it is evenly pressed up against the ice cream. And so now that I have done that, we're going to place our ice cream into the freezer for at least 3 to 4 hours until the ice cream is set. Our ice cream is ready. It kind of slid a little bit in the freezer, but that is okay. It smells and looks delicious, and we are excited for our homemade pot of gold ice cream. We really enjoyed the ice cream, but like I said earlier, I definitely would use the smaller Lucky Charm marshmallows. Other than that, this homemade ice cream was delicious.
For our Lucky Charms cereal bars, we're going to need about 6 cups of Lucky Charms cereal, and I think that this should be enough. If not, I have a little bit more in my pantry. So I'm going to measure that out. I just dropped Franklin off at school, and I think he's going to be really excited to have one of these treats when he gets home from school today. So we have our Lucky Charms measured out, and now I'm just going to melt some butter and then melt our mini marshmallows, and then we'll add the Lucky Charms. And I think it's going to be so good and such a fun treat for St. Patrick's Day. So I'm going to add our butter. I'm using a 1/4 cup of butter. So we're going to let that melt.
The butter has melted, and now we're going to add 1 bag of mini marshmallows, and then we are just going to let those marshmallows melt on low heat. I am just giving our mini marshmallows a good stir just periodically while the marshmallows melt. We want them to be nice and melted before we add in our Lucky Charms. Our marshmallows are nice and melted, and now we're going to add in our Lucky Charms cereal, and we're just going to give this a good stir until the cereal is evenly mixed with our marshmallows. And I did turn off the heat before I added in our Lucky Charms cereal. You want to make sure to turn off the heat before you add your cereal. Then I just transferred the Lucky Charms cereal mixture into a baking dish that I sprayed with nonstick cooking spray. And this was a little bit sticky and a mess to do. I did spray my hands with nonstick cooking spray just to make it a little bit easier, but these were really sticky. That is the worst part about making these types of bars or Rice Krispie treats. Even though they're super easy, it's just really sticky and messy.
I topped our Lucky Charms cereal bars with some of the marshmallows. Then we're just going to let these set and cool and enjoy it later this afternoon. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more cozy, seasonal inspired content, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel if you are new here. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, bye!